Hey guys, Jared, Transformational Coaching, Action is Transformation. In this video, we're going to get into why do we overgive in relationships. Hands down, overgiving is something that I see all the time happen in romantic relationships, friendships, familial relationships. It can happen in business relationships, but I don't think there's anything wrong with giving too much value in a business relationship. Honestly, I think that's the smartest way of living. If you give a lot of value in your business relationships, you're going to have a lot more business and wealth will never be an issue or challenge for you. But when it comes to family relationships, romantic relationships, and friendships, these are areas where I see individuals overgive and where I've overgiven in the past. And we want to be aware of those patterns so we stop living them out. Because if we're overgiving in those areas, we're eventually going to feel drained, we're going to feel exhausted, and whenever we feel drained or exhausted in a relationship, it leads to natural resentment, upset, and hurt, and then we usually take that out on the other individual, which then causes the relationship to fail or fall. And we want to avoid all that if we can. So in this video, I'm going to share with you why we overgive in relationships, how to overcome it and stop the behavior, and then what it's going to actually do for your life and how you'll see life show up differently for you when you stop overgiving. I was recently coaching one of my clients and she was really upset with me because one, she said she always gives to her boyfriend and he never gives back, and then she gives more and more and more and he still doesn't give back. And then two, she feels like she's not actually being seen by her boyfriend. And so I asked her, I said, immediately I saw two issues right off the bat. First, I saw that she was having unconscious expectations from her boyfriend that she never clearly communicated. And then two, I saw that she was giving to get something. And that's usually why we overgive. We continue to give because we're hoping or expecting to get something in return. And if that's why we're giving, then we still have some childhood trauma that we need to take care of. So I went deeper into this with her, and the first thing I asked, I said, well, what expectations do you have of the relationship, and have you communicated that to your boyfriend? Immediately, she kind of sat back and realized, wow, no, I actually haven't communicated that to him. And then I told her, I said, well, that's exactly why he's not listening to you, because you never communicated to him the needs that you have and the expectations that you have for the relationship. And so if you never communicated those and you're getting really upset with him, well, then he's probably perceiving you as being erratic. And if you've never communicated your needs and desires for the relationship, then it makes sense why he would perceive you as being erratic, and that's why he shut down and is no longer listening to you. So once I shared with her, she had a really big aha moment and felt a lot better. And then the second thing was she was giving to him to get something from him. And I asked her, I said, what are you trying to get from him, and why have you not asked for that thing that you want? And then that went into the childhood trauma, and we went a little bit deeper. Anytime that we're giving to get something from another person in return, in romance, in family, or in society, not business. Business is normal. We want to give a lot in business so we can get a lot. But in family or society or romantic relationships, if we're giving a lot in hopes of getting something, it's because we're scared to ask for what it is that we truly want or need. And if we're scared to ask for what it is that we truly want or need in a relationship, it's because in our childhood, our needs weren't recognized by our family, or our needs weren't okay. A lot of the times when I'm coaching clients, and I've had to work through these patterns in my own life, a lot of times when I'm coaching my clients, I'll see areas in their childhood where they weren't allowed to express their needs or desires, because if they did express their needs or desires, they were either hurt or abused, or they were looked at as not being okay. It's like, no, your needs and desires don't matter. What matters is you functioning in the family in this way. Usually when we grow up in that type of family that brings a child into the family for selfish reasons, not because they just want to share their love, the child takes on that unconscious emotional baggage. So if we grew up in a family where our needs weren't met, we tend to develop this behavior to overgive, and that overgiving is coming from a place of we really want our needs met. So for instance, in the case of my client, she was giving all of this time and attention and affection to her husband in the hope that she would get that in return. She just didn't know to ask that. She didn't know that she could ask for those needs straight up, because there was that childhood part of her that had all these bad experiences and memories when she was younger, that when she asked for what it is that she needed, like love and affection, her parents would push her aside. And so a lot of the times we're over-giving unconsciously because we think we need to. We're over-giving unconsciously because we think we need to over-give in order to get something, when in reality we can simply just ask for it. But sometimes we've never been shown how to ask for what it is that we need. Sometimes we've never been shown how to say, hey, look, I just need you to love and care for me, or I just need you to hold me right now, or I just need you to be this way with me right now. Can you give that to me? That's scary for a lot of individuals, because when they were younger, when they asked for those things, they were either shamed or guilted for having those desires. And so then what happened is we shut down. So it's really important to recognize here that if you're over giving, it's usually you trying to ask for something, for one of your needs to be met. It's just that you don't know that you actually want that need to be met, or you're fearful of having that need met because it was scary in your childhood. Anytime that you asked for a need or desire in your childhood, you were shunned. It's really important to be seen and validated as human beings. Every human being has an inherent need to be seen, to be validated, to have our needs met. It's absolutely normal. But when we have a fear of expressing those desires because of how our childhood happened, we feel like we just constantly need to give more and more and more in order to get what it is that we're looking for. The great thing is, guys, is you can just ask for it. And if you're scared to ask for it, that's okay. It's just a pattern of trauma that you need to work out. And if that's it, feel free to share, comment, or contact me. That's work that needs to be done. What's most important is to learn to communicate what it is that we really need or want from a relationship. When we can learn to do that without having a lot of fear or worry or anxiety, life gets more enjoyable, our relationships become more peaceful, and we learn that the world actually does support us if we're willing to speak up for it. We can always go within and give those things to ourselves, but if we don't have the time or the energy to do that, we can ask for that from the world. And when we ask from that for the world, you'll see that the world will actually give us what it is that we want. It's just we have to be willing to ask. Guys, this is part 1. I am going to do a part 2 video on overgiving, so be looking out for that in the next couple days. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see in here, please share and subscribe. I'd love for this work to go out in the world. It does change people's lives. I see it every day, and I want other individuals to find these places within themselves so they can start creating a better life for themselves, and also just start enjoying life and relationship more, because that's why we're here. Why would you want to live a life that you're not enjoying? Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. If you like what you've seen, I got more free stuff in the YouTube description box below. If you're watching this on Instagram, check out the bio. I do live coaching with Laura twice a week. We bring on individuals onto the YouTube channel and we coach them live. If you want to check that out, or if you want to sign up for it, the links are there in the description box above or below. That's all I got for this time. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.